Hello and welcome back to the True Crime Comedy Podcast, Murderess Podcast. I am your host, Sidney Smith, with my co-host,
Jamie Kamaya.
What up, Jay?
How are you?
How are you? See, there we can sell these t-shirts
Yeah,
now. Nice.
back on.
Nice.
1995.
Get those dudes back on the printing press. Hey, man, how are you? How's everything?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. You had some good news you shared with me, so I'm very happy to hear about that.
Yeah.
You got rid of that sixth toe, and so that is awesome.
It was just awkward. It drawed attention.
You could never wear a good pair of flip-flops.
Talk about stubbing your fifth toe, never mind a sixth toe.
Hey, before we get into all the chit-chat, I might put that on a t-shirt. Chit-chat. You don't hear grown men say chit-chat.
It's for good reason.
No way. You know the size of your manhood has to be to say chit-chat. So the mere fact that I don't mind saying it multiple times and with minutes to let you know.
Yeah, don't say it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us again. On this podcast, we take a look at real life murders committed by only women. And I got a new thing I want to kind of get going. I want to talk to you about and see what you think of it. New idea for the show.
This is never good.
It's always good. Always good. But thank you guys very much. We do appreciate you guys. Before we get started, as always, let me mention a couple of things to you. If you could, go onto Apple Podcast. If you are listening on Apple, give us 5 stars. Also, leave us a great review. For some reason, Apple is the only one that will allow you to rate us and give us a review. For all others, including Apple, go ahead and click that subscribe button. When you subscribe, simple and easy. Just click the button. It's going to download our voices to you each and every week. You don't have to do any work other than when you get in the car, you press play.
Right. And if you hit subscribe, you won't hear this part. It will get edited out about us asking you to subscribe.
Yeah. That's as always. Don't listen to anything Jamie says before the podcast starts. I love him dearly, but between him and that extra toe that he just had removed, that's the only thing I can say to you.
Yeah, I just tied some dental floss around it till it died. Just snapped it off.
Jesus. Also, you can find us on Patreon. Become a part of our fan club by going to murderous.com and clicking the fan club button. And that will take you right on over. You can pick from some options, or at least see the options. And then you'll hit the Patreon button. That'll take you straight to our Patreon. Or you can go to patreon.com/murderous podcast.
We got one new Patreon.
We did. I want to get to him in one quick second. We have some awesome tiers there for you with some awesome gifts for you that you would get each and every week. I don't even want to call them gifts, call them rewards. One of my favorites. And we have one that we have to send out because we have a person who is in that tier is a picture with my co-host here, Jamie Kamaya, with Aaron Hernandez, the infamous murderer.
My selfie.
The could have been the future Hall of Fame tight end of the New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez, his selfie with him. And we will autograph that ourselves, myself and Jamie, and get that out to you. So that is one of the rewards, depending on what tier you pick. So Jamie was getting to it. Jamie, you want to go ahead and shout out the name, give the love
Rob Chandler. You said, hey, we got a new Patreon sponsor, and he's a stranger. What's his name? Rob Chandler. No, he's not a stranger.
Yes. You know what, though? This is like any business. This is like any startup. You first have people who hopefully friends and family, right, who love and adore you, who say, I dig what you're doing. Let me support it however I can. And that's who's going to be first to jump in on the Patreon. And then from there, people who don't know you, hopefully they dig it. And then that's how it goes. And that's how any business starts. And so thank you guys out there, friends and family who have joined and support the show that way. So
we appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right. Now we're done with that bit of business. Let's get to a little bit of chit chat.
Uh-oh.
I want to start with this. I didn't even have this on the list at first, but I thought the people would just love to know that I hit the record button. And as soon as I hit it, Jamie said, whoa, no. I got to go pee. And then I said, all right, I hit the stop. I said, go. He said, no, I don't have to go.
I panicked because I always go right before we start, and I forgot that I went.
I thought it was weird that you have already went to relieve yourself and forgot you relieved yourself. And then you get into a crazy panic. So what's going on with your bladder, I guess is where I'm trying to go.
Well, no, it's just like you have your process before a show. You do a comedy show. You go through this regimen. Peeing is part of my regimen before we record.
Yeah, but how do you forget? That was only a couple minutes ago.
Permanent damage, man. I've done some permanent damage in my time.
Pop Tarts. All the Pop Tarts.
So going to my head. Yeah. Well, there's no candy. I don't see a candy bowl, so maybe my blood sugar's up.
You don't. You know what? We have to add that to one of the tiers. One of our listeners hit me with a message. Bruce hit me with a message, and he said, maybe some of the money from the Patreon I should go to. He said, I don't want to pull out my phone right now, but actually what he said, I'm paraphrasing Bruce, said, hey, man, just give the guy some candy and some Pop Tarts.
Right, Bruce? See, Bruce is onto something here.
Well, you know, Bruce likes his snacks too. That's why. And I'm looking forward. I'm standing up in Bruce's wedding next year. Looking forward to that. So I said, you know what? I should make that part of one of the tiers where people know, hey, if you care enough about this dude's snacking habits when he's at my house. And actually, I would appreciate it too, because now the man is using my wife as a mule because she's bringing home Pop Tarts from work.
The whole grain, brown sugar, and cinnamon.
Right. And
she is a glue that keeps us together.
That and a cocoa, yeah, right. God forbid anything happens to Tamara.
That was delicious.
Oh, yeah. It looks like
Cocoa Puff, Rice Krispie style treat. I don't know what it was, but it was excellent.
It looked like a heart attack.
I'm literally looking at crumbs on my shirt.
On the back, you know how most times they have, you know, be careful of this, be careful of that, has these ingredients. On the back of the package, I think it just said diabetes.
This will kill you.
It's over. It's over. Real quick, man. Weird segue, but I wanted to mention this because it was important to me. And I'm not going to mention the names, but I got a call from the wife of an old friend. He and I had not been in touch in several years, but she thought enough of me, and I really appreciated that she reached out to me over the weekend and said he had passed away earlier last week. And I asked how, and she said aneurysm.
Oh, yeah, that's a scare because you can't see it coming.
And so we went back and forth a little bit on Facebook Messenger about it because, you know, while I'm naturally a curious person anyway, so even when someone tells me something like that, my heart goes out to them, but I can't help but wonder
how they die.
What happened? Did you know this? Did you know that? So I asked her a few questions, and she was kind enough to even answer them. But yeah, the doctor said he was dead before he hit the floor.
Yeah,
and there was aspirin on the floor as well around him because I looked it up. One of the symptoms, I don't know if it's a symptom because it's not like you can do anything about it,
right?
But it's a massive headache.
Oh boy!
So he was trying to open up the aspirin,
because
he was having this headache, and you know it got him, and he was dead before he hit the floor, according to the doctors. She left the house around 2:30, came back at 3:30, and he was on his face in the kitchen. And I guess I'm sharing this story just because as we get older, and I wish I'd have thought about this when I was younger. Just, man, life is so precious, and you just don't. I guess you don't realize it till you're old enough to.
So he wasn't that old, I take it.
Late 40s, early 50s.
Oh yeah,
somewhere in that range.
That's young.
Family.
The older we get, the younger that is.
Yeah, and there's no. I mean, I looked up, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. I looked it up, and they say the aneurysms normally affect people who are smokers. It can be something that's hereditary when it pertains to arteries. You have thin arteries, possibly, and then high blood pressure. So those are the three things that I found. And so I felt comfortable for myself. Not saying nothing can happen to me, but I like to think I'm
in low
risk.
Shape.
Yeah, I'm in low risk for that. But it was scary. And I'm laying in bed while I'm having this. And it's weird because while she's messaging me about this, I was having a massive headache.
Now, every headache you get, I'm like, it's an aneurysm.
Oh, that's why I looked it up because I was having a massive headache at that time. Like, oh my God, I don't want to go sleep.
WebMD.
Oh, man, it was horrible for me. But my heart goes out to her and her family. And yes, that's a huge loss. And, she's left to care for 3 children on her own.
Oh, that's awful.
But I felt the same way when our friend Boog died. Comedy, I think we talked about him before, comedic friend here, and he died. Again, no one saw that coming.
No.
And that was, 5 years ago, as of a month or so ago. And I knew when that happened, that really affected me in terms of my career because I thought I was really grinding my ass off. And I had never cried like that. I couldn't remember. I cried for 3 or 4 days.
Well, he was super young, right? 30s.
Yeah, super young. And I cried for 3 or 4 days. That really affected me. I think because I love Boog the way I love Boog, like we all did.
Yeah.
But I think also because I saw my own, what am I thinking of here? Mortality. Mortality. And I said, I really got to get my ass on the grind for my career. And I've been pushing hard ever since. Harder than I thought I could before. So
you said, what's going to take me to the next level? Jamie Kamaya. podcast.
Yeah, I've had some people who say they dig your voice. I had a buddy of mine I hung out with over the weekend, Ryan Henry, if he's out there listening, but hung out with Ryan. What's up, guy? And Rye Guy, as I nicknamed him years ago when we used to work together. We hung out with some other friends of mine, had a great time. But he was telling me he likes the podcast. He says, because I like you, because I know you, and I know how analytical you are, how things need to be a certain way. He said, and then you got, Jamie on the other end of the spectrum and his voice and everything. He said he loves the back and forth and he loves the combination.
And we love you, Rye Guy.
No one calls him that but me, you jerk. All right. So we had some listeners also reach out. I'm sorry, people. I know we're jumping around a little bit, but we got a great story lined up for you. But I want to make sure we touch on some things here because we are getting to the point where people are reaching out to us and it reminded me of things that I'm forgetting. And I forgot to refer back to the noise that Jamie was making a couple of weeks ago. That weirdness there. That's not it. That's not the noise. Stop doing this. That's it's right there. And so I said, hey, if you send us in some guesses, we will send you a free t-shirt. And we got a couple of guesses in. I
didn't agree to this t-shirt thing.
Say again?
I didn't agree to this t-shirt thing.
I don't recall putting it up for a vote. So hope that settles that.
That's coming out of my Patreon.
One was someone thought you were just flicking the roof of your mouth, just period. With your
No.
And then the other, someone thought you were trying to get Pop Tarts out of the roof of your mouth.
Well, that does happen regularly. That's not the sound.
That is not it. And then Jamie said because no one got it right, he wanted to extend it. So if anyone hears this, you have until next week's episode to send us something and go to murderesspodcast.com. Go to go scroll to the bottom. You see there where you can send us some messages and send us a message with what your guest is. And we are giving one free Murderous Podcast t-shirt to whomever wins.
If they get it, we'll send you a shirt that says, I identified the noise. I knew the noise.
Remember what I said before about not listening to Jamie. Jamie, I identified the noises. What's on the t-shirt?
I know the noise.
I
knew the noise.
You're the same guy that didn't want us to put our own names on the artwork.
I'm just like to stay humble.
Stay humble. Put that on your t-shirt for you.
Stay humble. I'm pretty sure that's out there already.
So when this podcast blows up and you become acting like a real diva, where's your t-shirt? Stay humble there.
Do I wear the Hawaii? Or I knew the noise shirt. Right?
I don't know if we're going to let you have a Hawaii t-shirt because you forgot to say it last week. I don't know. That might be your punishment.
Just want to mix it up. Keep our listeners on the edge of their car seat.
Did you tell your buddy that you know who does flex, who used to work at Walmart about the podcast by chance?
No, I did not.
You're horrible.
I did not. Yeah, but that's fine because we talked about him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Full-time employee at Walmart. Making less than $13 an hour. Full-time employee. Been with the company 10 years. $12.90 something an hour, he told me. I saw him at Amazon Flex showing up. He's like, yeah, I quit that. I make $6 an hour here more. Literally delivering. And you're not off the hook, Amazon. You could do better too. But still, this gave this guy an opportunity. He gets out of his car. He's wearing flip-flops. Going to get his items to deliver.
So you mind letting the world know then? Because you just mentioned it. You do flex.
Yes, I do flex. It's my side hustle.
Yeah, that's his side hustle. So people out there who think that we're just two rich guys sitting in a massive mansion podcasting.
No, I sell plasma. I do it all.
Well, yeah, you do. He has quite a few things he does to make them ends meet. I don't just want to say make the ends meet because you're not living hand to mouth. So you just do a few different things just to put money in the bank account.
Yeah, I like to have a little cushion. I mean, I'm not rich by any stretch. I like to have a little cushion.
Right. So there's a guy, that you met over there at Amazon Flex, over there picking up packages to deliver, and he's making more money. You said twice as much?
Well, Amazon, they start you at whatever block you take for that amount of time, they give you $18 an hour.
Okay.
So I take 4.5 hour blocks. That's $81. If it takes you 4.5 hours, you need to have your head checked. I do it in about 3 hours. So it comes out to a lot more than that. You actually make pretty decent money.
Man, you're really uppity about how much time it should take someone else to drive around.
Well, no, trust me. I'm no superstar out there. But I mean, you hit the stops. You don't dilly-dally. One restroom break. Make sure your gas is full before you go. So you grab two shifts. You make $160 in 6 hours.
You sound like someone's dad. Just don't dilly-dally. Make sure your gas tank is full.
Show a little hop in your step when you're running up to that apartment.
You should be to grandma's by 3, so make sure you get there by 3. Gas tank, right, full. Did you check those tires?
When I see an apartment and the first number is a 3, I'm like, fuck, that's a 3rd floor, man.
I shouldn't have had that last Pop Tarts.
I start questioning every choice of my life when I see a third floor apartment.
And did you just pull out the Danny Glover? I'm too old for this shit.
Oh, I don't know. I may have. I feel like that's pretty universal at this point.
So this guy's making more money delivering packages for Amazon than he was at Walmart. And we got into this discussion earlier. Now you say he's full time.
He was full time with Walmart.
I didn't think Walmart let anyone be full time to keep themselves from being able to pay benefits.
Less and less now. They do it less and less.
Okay.
This guy been there a while.
And
it's not happening much.
Yeah, we got into this conversation, folks, just for people who are like, why are they talking about this? Because we were talking about minimum wage and should it be raised to 15, and I'm not going to get into what our views are on it because I'm not trying to make this show.
We won't bore you
and make the show political, but that's how we got into this part of the conversation. I got a bit of good news for myself if I can share it with the people.
Please do.
I will be premiering my first short film on May 8th, the day before Mother's Day, and the name of the film is Mother's Day.
Oh, excellent. That's an easy one to remember then.
Yes. So I'm very excited.
I'm busy that day, but still.
Invites had not gone out, and I had not said you were even getting one. So no. But
I'm just show up banging on the window. Let me in.
I'm super, super excited, man, for this. I've been writing scripts for a long time. Taught myself how to write in the beginning, how to do it, like myself in my office. Feel comfortable about the things I've been putting together. I've let some professional actors and actresses read it.
Yeah.
It's several of my scripts, and they dig them and think I have a knack for it. So hopefully I do. And so I'm going to finally get a chance. Finally, I have a team around me, I think, to get this one done. I tried a few years ago, and that was my first realization, I guess, that part of creativity is different than stand-up creativity. Because stand-up, I can write a joke. It's all dependent on me. All I got to do is get on stage. I got to tell the jokes. If they work, great. If they don't, then I go back and do the rewrite, and I go out and I do it all over again. Film, completely different. There's so many other moving parts, and I need everyone's parts to move together. And when it doesn't happen, it just slows down an entire process, and you just got to kind of rethink that process. So I'm very happy to go from a few years ago, kind of being stalled on filming, but still writing and trying to get better at that aspect, to now being in a situation where I'm going to premiere my first short film. So,
and there will be popcorn for everyone.
No, there will not be popcorn. Well, you know what? Maybe I will do some. Maybe we'll do some popcorn.
Bags of smart food.
Let's do something like that. Well, you know what? I was going back and forth. I'm going to have some finger foods there, something along those lines for people to have. And popcorn, maybe a popcorn machine too. Maybe that might be kind of cool.
Yeah, white cheddar popcorn rocks, man.
What's that?
White cheddar popcorn, like smart food.
Okay. So anyway, Mother's Day will be premiering August. I keep wanting to say August. Premiering May 8th, one day before Mother's Day.
May 8th.
Yep, it's a Saturday. So come out. The people on the event list will be able to come out, have some drinks, kind of make a party of it, and get to see my 10-minute film.
The following day is Mother's Day. It's actually also my father's birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
we won't be celebrating that as much.
I didn't know where you wanted me to go with that. It's our first birthday
without him.
Yes, thank you. Because I didn't know where you wanted me to go with that. I'm just like,
all right, it's got awkward.
A way to go from my happiness to making me sad.
Nah, we'll celebrate his life.
Well, yes, celebrate his life for sure. Yeah, I can't. You know what? I can't speak on it. I have my mother still. I don't know how much time I would even have to grieve. Well, my mother probably would not pass for a long, long time, but I don't know how much time I'd even have to grieve. There's so many different things to do. But I just couldn't imagine what that would even feel like. And so it's hard for me when other people, when I have friends such as you who've lost, I'm just like, I don't know what to say to this.
Yeah. All right, Debbie Downer, let's go on.
You brought it up.
I know. I just like make you feel awkward.
Asshole. All right. Thank you guys again for listening to Murderous Podcast.
I'm doing a new movie. My dad died.
Exactly. That was some friends always want to one up you. Other friends just want to take from your joy.
Take the exact opposite direction.
Oh my God, I got a raise. My dog died. Just your horrible friend. You eat all my Pop Tarts. You don't know when you got to take a piss.
I keep you balanced.
Someone did say that the show is balanced because of you.
Yin and yang.
Yin and yang. And
I'm the white yang.
Right.
You're the yang.
Right. But there's a lot of white yangs out there. So
There's a lot of white yangs.
I want you to remember that. All right. Don't start coming in with any attitudes, buddy. Pushing my wife around.
You need a Boston yang.
She scared the shit out of you out there. I'll make her get you. You over there talking to Alexa. You ain't know Tamara was coming around that corner.
No, she startled me.
No,
I wasn't scared. I was startled.
You were scared. Your nipples were hard. You were scared.
No, that's anyways.
All All right, we're going to get into our story. Thank you guys again for joining us. This is direct. So what I'm getting ready to read is a quote from Belle Gunness, Black Widow of the Heartland by Joe Geringer. And when I was doing the research on it, looking at different things and pulling things out, I love this portion from his book. Farmhand Joe Maxon's first thought when he awoke that morning of April 28th, 1908, was that Belle Gunness was cooking breakfast. The hickory smell that sometimes blended with the cedar wood in the house to give the air a strange, almost pungent aroma. But the more he lay there, the more he realized that his initial perception had been wrong. What he smelled was charred wood, the sickening, breath-consuming, smoky odor of savage fire. He leaped out of bed. Something caught his attention outside his window, something drifting by. While his feet maneuvered into a pair of slippers at his bedside, his eyes followed to where a gray cloud of smoke bellowed up from below his windowsill and caught in the morning breeze, pirouetted like an amoebic ballerina to dance like the devil before it swooshed out of sight, only to be followed by another signal of smoke, this time blacker, and carrying with it a stench of hellfire. Throwing up the window, he popped his head out. From below, from what was the kitchen window of the house, smoke issued in puffing rhythm, accompanied by an intermittent snap of a flame that seemed to be teasing what was left of the white lace curtains. My God, he thought, the house is afire, and the inhabitants are asleep. Grabbing a robe from the bedpost to cover his woolen drawers, he simultaneously reached with his free hand for the bedroom doorknob. It was already hot.
Oh, I knew I was going to say that.
One hand couldn't budge it, so he tried both hands to yank the door inward. But it wouldn't yield. The wooden frame had blistered to wedge the door. The wooden frame had blistered to wedge the door. He banged with his fist upon the thickness of the door, not because he himself was trapped, for he knew he could escape easily enough through the window if need be, but to rouse the sleeping landlady and her children. Mrs. Gunness, he cried, wake up, fire. Mrs. Gunness, the house is burning. Myrtle, Lucy, Philip, fire. He listened a moment, hoping to hear through the keyhole the family scampering through the hall, alerted to reality. Mrs. Gunness, he tried again. Children! But no sound answered him, not even a whimper. His own room was filling with hacking fumes, and he was afraid that at any moment the tin of kerosene he had bought yesterday for Widow Gunness and what she had him put in the kitchen might explode. He dashed through the smoke, raced down the servant stairs that led to the kitchen, and groping, somehow found the screen door to the yard beyond. A golden morning sun was tipping the eastern horizon of Indiana cornfields, unaffected by the unfolding tragedy. Flailing arms, yelling in panic at the top of his lungs, he circled the house, but found every window lapped by flame, impenetrable. Somewhere inside, he knew was the senseless Gunness family, trapped by the carnage. Belle, 48, and her 3 children, Myrtle, 11 years old, Lucy, 9, Philip, 5. Were they already dead, licked by flame, or were they yet untouched by the fire, but slowly, methodically lapsing into a coma under asphyxiation of smoke? Maxon spotted 2 neighbors racing toward him on respective bicycles, young Mike Clifford and his brother-in-law, Will Humphrey. Both men had spotted the flames in pre-dawn light. They immediately shot to work, helping the farmhand waken the household by throwing house bricks, used for patchwork and laying in a pile near the storm shelter, through every window. Maxon and Clifford were shoulder ramming the locked front door, hoping to force it. Only the crackle of the flames continued to respond from within. Why the hell can't they hear us? Humphrey shouted. He had found a scaling ladder near the barn and setting it against the exterior walls. Climbing, he peered in several windows but saw no signs of life. Soon came the Hudsons and the Laphams and the Nicholsons, all neighbors from up and down McClung Road. A cloud of red clay hanging over the entrance to the Gunness farm, where their buggies and wagons had crossed in and thither, one after another. They yelped and hallooed and howled, but no one could stir the Gunnesses. And they tried to yelp and halloo and howl some more until it soon became apparent that the louder they became, the more impossible it was that any living soul could remain in the fireball that had been the Gunnesses' abode. By the time Sheriff Smutzer arrived, leading a brigade of volunteer firemen and their clanging hose cart from a nearby Porte, it was much too late. the farmhouse, the outbuildings, and the elm trees whose branches had tipped the window casements were all gone. Poor Belle Gunness, unfortunately a fitting end for a woman whose entire life had been pocked by misfortune. This week's murderess is Belle Gunness. Man, screw you. I thought that was great when I read it. And
Sure it was.
And I'm sure and I'm sure the people who are listening enjoyed it. So,
how would they not? That silky smooth voice.
Yeah, well, it is very nice. So this week's murderess is Belle Gunness. Belle was born Brynhild Paulsdatter Storthuth, November 11th, 1859.
Holy moly, we're going back.
In Selbu, Norway.
Lincoln was still alive.
And she was a Norwegian American serial killer. Early years, Gunness's origins are a matter of some debate. Most of her biographers state that she was born on November 11th, 1859, near the Lake of Selbu, and christened Brynhild Paulsdatter Stortset. Her parents were Paul Peterson Stortset, he was a stonemason, and Berit Osdatter. She was the youngest of their 8 children. They lived at Stortset Jerde, a very small cottage farm in Bigida, 60 kilometers southeast of Trondheim.
Kilometers. Wait, hold on. 1.6. Okay, it's about 90.
90 miles?
30. No, it's the other way. 60 kilometers is about 40.
Yeah, this is so much better when I was reading.
You know what? Everyone at home is doing the math. 40.
The largest
30,
city
40.
in central Norway.
Norway.
Is which was Trøndelag. Was the
Trot along?
yes.
No.
It's,
I have no idea.
I know you don't. Make me take a nap again. An Irish TV documentary by Anne Barrett Vesby aired on September 4th, 2006, tells a common but unverified story about Gunness' early life. The story holds that in 1877, Gunness attended a country dance while pregnant.
I don't know. Now, our integrity, will that allow us to do an unverified story here? We reek of integrity.
We do, but I did say it was unverified. So I didn't say this very verified story.
I'm sorry, I can't get behind this.
Why don't you go back to sleep? There she was attacked by a man who kicked her in the abdomen, causing her to miscarry the child.
Oh, my God.
The man, who came from a rich family, was never prosecuted by the Norwegian authorities. According to people he knew, her personality changed markedly. The man who attacked her died shortly afterwards. His cause of death was said to be stomach cancer.
Oh, that's fitting. Kick someone in the stomach, gets stomach cancer. Good.
Having grown up in poverty.
Hey, do you know how my dad died?
Having grown up in poverty.
Stomach cancer.
Gunness,
I'm not even making it up.
I know you're not.
I'm not letting you get past
I'm reading through it. Gunness took service the next year on a large, wealthy farm and served there for 3 years in order to pay for a trip across the Atlantic. What are you doing over here?
I don't know, just having fun.
Following the example of a sister, Nellie Larson, who had immigrated to America earlier, Gunness moved to the United States in 1881 and assumed a more American-style name. Initially, she worked as a servant. In 1884, Gunness married Mads Ditlev Anton Sorensen in Chicago, Illinois, where 2 years later they opened a candy store. The business was not at all successful. Within a year, the shop mysteriously burned down, and the two of them collected insurance, which paid for another home.
Oh, mysteriously burned down.
Yeah, that's how fire started.
It's getting warm in here.
Kind of body of a Pop Tart eater. So, you're warm everywhere.
You're over there with a jacket on.
Yeah, there's no jacket on. Although some researchers assert that the Sorensen union produced no offspring, other investigators report that the couple had 4 children: Caroline, Axel, Myrtle, and Lucy.
Myrtle?
Myrtle. Caroline and Axel died in infancy, allegedly of acute colitis. The symptoms of acute colitis, nausea, fever, diarrhea, and lower abdominal pain, and cramping, are all symptoms of many forms of poisoning. Both Caroline's and Axel's lives were reportedly insured, and the insurance company paid out.
Oh, they gotta find insurance any way they can.
Two of our own kids.
That's crazy.
A May 7th, 1908 article in the New York Times states that 2 children belonging to Gunness and her husband, Mads Sorensen, were buried in a plot in Forest Home Cemetery. Some proof that the children did exist comes from a census report on June 13th, 1900. Gunness and her family were counted on the United States Census in Chicago. The census recorded her as the mother of 4 children, of whom only 2 were living. So, some people were going back and forth on the amount of children. As we see here, it is documented with the census that she was the mother of 4, with only 2 of them living. So,
the census is unverified.
That's not true. So, only 2 of the kids were living. Myrtle, 3, Lucy, 1. An adopted 10-year-old girl identified possibly as Morgan Couch, but apparently later known as Jenny Olson, also was counted in the household. So that would have been 3 kids total living in the house.
Jenny Olson.
Yes. What was her name again?
Jenny.
No, that's not what you said.
That's what I said, Jenny.
Okay, Forrest. Her husband. Her husband, Sorensen, died on July 30th, 1900. Reportedly the only day on which 2 life insurance policies on him overlapped.
Oh, wow.
She was prepared.
She really knows how to find that window.
The first doctor to see him thought he was suffering from strychnine poisoning. However, the Sorensen's family doctor had been treating him for an enlarged heart, and he concluded that the death had been caused by heart failure. An autopsy was considered unnecessary because the death was not thought suspicious. Gunness told the doctor that she had given her late husband medicinal powders to help him feel better.
Medicinal what?
Powders.
Oh, I thought you said powers.
No, powders.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what I thought you said. I
want some medicinal powders.
I think you get those on the weekend.
You get the medicinals.
She applied for the insurance money the day after her husband's funeral. Sorensen's relatives claimed that Gunness had poisoned her husband to collect on the insurance. Records suggest that an investigation was ordered. It is unclear, however, whether that investigation actually occurred. On Sorensen's body was ever, yes. It was unclear, however, whether the investigation actually occurred or whether Sorensen's body was ever exhumed to check for arsenic, as his relatives demanded. The insurance companies awarded her $8,500, which would be $266 today. With what she...
Wait, what? Say it again?
She was awarded... The insurance companies gave her $8,500.
You're saying that's $266 today?
I'm sorry, $266,000.
Oh, okay, there we go. Now I'm back up to speed.
Yes, $266,000.
That woke me up.
dollars today, with which she bought a farm on the outskirts of LaPorte, Indiana. Suspicion of murder, which was much for her. In 1901, Gunness purchased a house on McClung Road. It has been reported that both the boat and carriage house burned to the ground shortly after she acquired the property.
Shortly after the insurance premium was paid.
As she was preparing to move from Chicago to LaPorte, she became reacquainted with a recent widower, Peter Gunness, also Norwegian born. They were married in LaPorte on April 1st, 1902. Just 1 week after the ceremony, Peter's infant daughter died of uncertain causes.
Oh, no.
While alone in the house with Belle. In December 1902, Peter himself met with a tragic accident. According to Belle, he was reaching for his slippers next to the kitchen stove when he was scalded with brine. She later declared that, in fact, part of a sausage grinding machine fell from a high shelf, causing a fatal head injury. A year later, Peter's brother, Gus, took Peter's older daughter, Swanhild, to Wisconsin. She's the only child to have survived living with Belle.
Oh, well, shout out to that guy.
So they weren't together very long at all. You know, the infant and the dad died within, 6 months of each other?
Yeah.
The same year? That is, God bless the uncle for coming along and getting the other daughter. Her husband's death netted Gunness another $3,000.
Oh, my God.
Which would be $94,000 today.
Oh, yeah. There you go. She's raking it in.
Well, she's
money back.
She's pulling one. Local people refused to believe that her husband could be so clumsy. He had run a hog farm on the property and was known to be an experienced butcher. Now, the district coroner reviewed the case and unequivocally announced that he had been murdered. He convened the coroner's jury to look into the matter.
It was verified. Verified murder.
This is your word for today.
Yes, I'm stuck on it.
Calling this back here.
Verified there's no candy on this desk.
Well, we'll get some if people get to that Patreon level of $10 or more.
There'll be guys, come on.
Yes.
Come through.
Yeah. If I see another Patreon come through at $10 or more, we will go ahead and put candy on the desk. If not,
I'm logging into Patreon.
If not, you may see the Pop Tart go away as well. I mean, I just can't keep I can't help you keep this body together that won't allow you to keep a shirt on.
Oh, it's hot in here, man. I still got a shirt on.
Yeah,
It's got no sleeves.
which is weird
Put my arm
for this physique. That you have a sleeveless
Picture
shirt.
you're painting for the listeners right now.
It's an accurate.
No,
one.
I have a farmer tan. I'll give you that.
Oh, all right. Whew. So her husband's death again netted her $3,000. Again, $94,000 today. Local people refuse to believe that her husband could be so clumsy. Now, the district coroner reviewed the case again and brought in a coroner's jury. Meanwhile, Jenny Olsen, the adoptive daughter, then 14 years old, was overheard confessing to a classmate, "My mama killed my papa. She hit him with a meat cleaver and he died. Don't tell a soul."
Huh.
So that will probably be why she changed the story from being burning himself, to having that machine fall off and hit him in the head. Because if she hit him with a meat cleaver, she needed to tell the story of something else falling and hitting him in the head, to leaving whatever marks that.
The cleaver's like a big hook, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I thought a cleaver was more of a knife, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. I thought the cleaver was like the thing they hang the meat on, like in the refrigerator rooms.
I don't believe so.
But I mean, if it's big enough, you can still crack someone.
Yeah. Either way, I'm just saying that's why you can see the change of her story from being burned
right now.
Would you stop it? It's very verified. Jenny was brought before the coroner's jury, but denied having made the remark. You damn right. I never said that. Never said.
Prove it.
Mama, they're lying. Gunness, meanwhile, convinced the coroner that she was innocent of any wrongdoing. She did not mention that she was pregnant, which would have inspired sympathy. But in May 1903, a baby boy, Philip, was born.
Was this the killer or Jenny's daughter, kid?
This is the killer, Gunness.
Oh, she's cranking on more. Okay.
Yes. And so Philip was born. In late 1906, Belle told neighbors that her foster daughter, Jenny Olsen, had gone away to a Lutheran college in Los Angeles. Some neighbors were informed that it was a finishing school for young ladies. In fact, Jenny's body would later be found buried on her adoptive mother's property.
Shouldn't have ran your mouth, kid.
Right. So
that was coming.
She waited a few years before old Jenny had to go, but eventually she had to go. Now, Belle continued to run the farm from 1906 to 1903 to 1906. In 1907, Gunness employed a single farmhand, Ray Lamphere, who helped with chores. Around the same time, Gunness inserted the following advertisement in the matrimonial columns of all the Chicago daily newspapers and those of other large Midwestern cities. And it read, "Personal. Comely widow who owns a large farm in one of the finest districts in LaPorte County, Indiana, desires to make the acquaintance of a gentleman equally well provided, with view of joining fortunes. No replies by letter considered unless sender is willing to follow answer with personal visit. Triflers need not apply." Several middle-aged men of means responded to Gunness's ads. One of these was John Moe, who arrived from Elbow Lake, Minnesota. He had brought more than $1,000 with him to pay off her mortgage, or so he told her neighbors, whom Gunness introduced him to as her cousin. He disappeared from her farm.
Each their own.
He disappeared from her farm within a week of his arrival. Next came George Anderson from Tarkio, Missouri, who, like Peter Gunness and John Moe, was an immigrant from Norway. During dinner with Anderson, she raised the issue of her mortgage.
Where do you find all these Norway immigrants in '06?
I don't know. Anderson agreed that he would pay this off if they decided to wed. Late that night, Anderson awoke to see her standing over him, holding a guttering candle in her hand.
A guttering candle? What is that?
So a guttering candle is a candle that flickers, in and out because the wick is almost out.
Oh, okay.
So think back during 1906 or whatever this is, holding that
My
candle.
girl getting freaky with the wax?
No. Late that night, Anderson awoke to see her standing over him holding a guttering candle in her hand and with a strange, sinister expression on her face. Without uttering a word, she ran from the room. Anderson fled the house, soon taking the train back to Missouri.
Good call, buddy. Good call.
The suitors kept coming, but none except Anderson ever left the Gunness farm.
Oh,
that dude was so smart. I tell you what, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, and Tamara normally gets up before me. She's a school teacher, so she gets up, she goes and hits the gym, she comes back, showers, has her breakfast, and she always comes, and I think she does this on purpose, but she says she just wants to say goodbye But every once in a while, I'll wake up before she says anything, and she's just standing there looking at me.
Huh.
And she loves me, and it still scares the shit out of me. So this guy, no doubt, was scared to death.
Maybe she's like, how did I get a guy with such a silky, smooth voice?
Why you keep talking about my voice, man?
No, that's I'm quoting you.
You're not quoting me. When did I say that?
I don't know. Sometime I think you were making fun of my voice. And you was talking about your own voice, saying how silky smooth it was.
In comparison, yes, I was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a Boston accent isn't a silky
It's not that you don't, it's not you have a bad voice. It's,
just not silky.
it's humorous.
It's humorous.
So,
It's rugged.
all right, let me get back to the story. We got to stay on track.
Yeah.
All right. So the students kept coming, but none except Anderson ever left the Gunness farm. By this time, she had begun ordering huge trucks to be delivered to her home. Hack driver Clyde Sturgis delivered many such trunks to her home in LaPorte and later remarked how the heavyset woman would lift these enormous trunks, quote, like boxes of marshmallows, close quote, tossing them onto her wide shoulders.
She's a farmhand.
And carry them into, she's Norwegian.
She got a strong back.
She's Nordic, right?
Nordic, right? Hard Viking.
Yeah. And carrying them into the house. She kept the shutters of her house closed day and night. Farmers traveling past the dwelling at night saw her digging in the hog pen.
Oh, can you just give them to the pigs? Don't they just eat people?
That's what I've seen in
Chop them up a little bit.
scary movies. I don't know. They say pigs eat anything, but so do goats. Why don't everybody throw anything at goats?
I don't know, because it hides in the mud.
I don't know. O.B. Budsberg, an elderly widower from Iola, Wisconsin, appeared next. He was last seen alive at the LaPorte Savings Bank on April 6, 1907, signing over a deed and obtaining several $1,000s in cash. O.B. Budsberg's sons, Oscar and Matthew Budsberg.
O.B. Budsberg.
That's his name, man. And Matthew Budsberg had no idea that their father had gone off to visit Gunness. When they finally discovered his destination, they wrote to her. She promptly responded, saying she had never seen their father. Several other middle-aged men appeared and disappeared in brief visits to the Gunness farm throughout 1907. Then in December 1907, Andrew Helgelin, a bachelor farmer from Aberdeen, South Dakota, wrote to her and was warmly received. The pair exchanged many letters until a letter that overwhelmed Helgelin, written in Gunness's own careful handwriting and dated January 13, 1908. This letter was later found at the Helgelin farm, and it read, "To the dearest friend in the world, no woman in the world is happier than I am. I know that you are now to come to me and be my own. I can tell from your letters that you are the man I want. It does not take long to tell when to like a person. And you I like better than anyone in the world, I know. Think how we will enjoy each other's company. You, the sweetest man in the world. We will be all alone with each other. Can you conceive of anything nicer? I think of you constantly. When I hear your name mentioned, and this is when one of the dear children speaks of you, or I hear myself humming it with the words of an old love song, it is beautiful music to my ears. My heart beats in wild rapture for you. My Andrew, I love you. Come prepared to stay forever."
Settle down.
This letter is just a nice way of, you come get this pussy.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is, come get this. I'm waiting for you. The kids are over here talking about you in glowing remarks. I'm thinking about you. I'm listening to Luther Vandross over here and just thinking about you. Come on, get this ass.
Come get it. I wonder if I think they were grooming back then. The body grooming. I mean, what is it? What were we dealing with back in 08?
Why do you think about body grooming?
I don't know. You always wonder, like back then. I mean, that's over 100 years ago now.
You don't have to wonder. No, they did not do body. You think what? No.
No, you take it down like one of them big, like they probably didn't have like the big disposables back then, but something. Take it down a notch.
So,
or maybe that's his thing.
It could be. That fetish. So in response to her letter, Helgelin flew to her side in January 1908. He had with him a check for $2,900, which would be $91,000 today.
I figured it out now. It's 30 times more.
Okay.
This is 30 times more money.
All right. So this is what you're doing.
So if you're wondering what's your money to get you back then?
So the $91,000 today was his savings. That $2,900 he showed up with was his savings that he had at that point, which he had drawn from his local bank. A few days after Helgelin arrived, he and Gunness appeared at the savings bank in LaPorte, Indiana, and deposited that check. Helgeland vanished a few days later, but Gunness appeared at the savings bank to make a $500 deposit and another deposit of $700 to the state bank.
Well, she's raking it in.
At this time, she started to have problems with Ray Lamphere. Now, remember, folks, she hired Ray. He's a handyman of sorts on the farm, a farm hand, if you will. In March 1908, Gunness sent several letters to a farmer and horse dealer in Topeka, Kansas, named Lon Townsend, inviting him to visit her. He decided to put off the visit until spring, and thus did not see her before a fire at the farm. Gunness was also in correspondence with a man from Arkansas and sent him a letter dated May 4th, 1908. He would have visited her, but did not because of the fire at her farm. Gunness allegedly promised marriage to another man, Bert Albert, but did not go through with it because of a lack of wealth, which is my favorite. She promised her marriage to a man named Bert Albert, but he didn't have enough money, so she was out on him. You would think, given the times, hell, even today, if people saw a ton of men visiting a woman's house, the stories that would be told about her being a loose woman, and you would think those stories would have been told then, which probably would have.
We got a bunch of guys disappearing. That's probably why she wanted from out of town.
And you're right.
Less likely.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Go looking for him.
The hired hand, Ray Lamphere, was deeply in love with Gunness himself. He performed any chore for her, no matter how gruesome.
Like trim the bushes? Eh?
He became jealous of many men who arrived to court his employer and began making scenes. She fired him on February 3rd, 1908. Shortly after dispensing with Lamphere, she presented herself at the LaPorte courthouse. She declared that her former employee was not in his right mind and was a menace to the public. She somehow convinced local authorities to hold a sanity hearing. Lamphere was pronounced sane and released because he was not crazy. Gunness was back a few days later to complain to the sheriff that Lamphere had visited her farm and argued with her. She contended that he posed a threat to her family and had Lamphere arrested for trespassing.
He knows where the bodies are.
Lamphere returned again, and you are probably right, sir. Lamphere returned again and again to see her, but she drove him away. Lamphere made thinly disguised threats on one occasion.
Why didn't she just reel him in? Fine, let's go do this, and then whack with the meat cleaver? Get rid of him.
Probably because he didn't have any money.
Yeah, but who cares? He's a problem.
I agree.
It's the one guy I'm rooting for to get.
But why? What? Why?
He's a jerk. Let it go, buddy. Turn the page. Move on.
Oh, so you're upset that he's so in love that he can't let it go.
You got to let it go. But you got to turn the page and move on.
Right. So he confided to farmer Will Slater, Helgeline won't bother me no more. We fixed him for keeps. Helgeline had long since disappeared from the port. Now, remember, Helgeline was the other Nordic man who came to her bringing his life savings.
I've lost track of my Nords.
And since disappeared from the port, or so it was believed. However, his brother, Astley, held Helgeline.
Did you say that right?
Yeah, I did. I looked it up, actually. Was disturbed when Andrew failed to return home, and he wrote to Belle in Indiana asking about his whereabouts. Gunness wrote back telling Astley, Helgeline, that his brother was not at her farm and probably went to Norway to visit relatives. Astley wrote back saying that he did not believe his brother would do that. Moreover, he believed that his brother was still in the LaPorte area, the last place he was seen or heard from. Gunness brazened it out. She told him that if he wanted to come and look for his brother, she would help conduct a search. But she cautioned him that searching for missing persons was an expensive proposition. If she were to be involved in such a manhunt, she stated, Astley should be prepared to pay her for her efforts.
With his life.
Well done. That's not written here, but I like what you did there. Astley Helgeline did come to the port, but not until May.
I'm going to walk behind you, though, with this meat cleaver while you leave. This grinder.
Look under that bed.
Why are you carrying a grinder over your head while we search for a puppy?
Lamphere represented an unresolved danger to her. Now Astley was making inquiries that could very well send her to the gallows. She told a lawyer in LaPorte, M.E. Lediter, that she feared for her life and that of her children. Ray Lamphere, she said, had threatened to kill her and burn down her house. She wanted to make out a will in case Lamphere went through with his threats. Lediter complied and drew up her will. She left her entire estate to her children and then departed the lawyer's offices. She went to one of the LaPorte banks holding a mortgage for her property and paid this off. She did not go to the police to tell them about Lamphere's alleged life-threatening conduct. The reason for this, later concluded, was that there had been no threats. She was merely setting up the stage for her own arson. Joe Maxson, who
I take back what I said about that guy.
Joe Maxson, who had been hired to replace Lamphere in February 1908, awoke in the early hours of April 28, 1908, smelling smoke in his room, which was on the second floor of the Gunness house. He opened the hall door to a sheet of flames. Maxson screamed Gunness's name and those of the children, but got no response. He slammed the door, and in his underwear, he leaped from the second-story window of his room, barely surviving the fire that was closing in about him. He raced to town to get help. But by the time the old-fashioned hook and ladder arrived at the farm at early dawn, the farmhouse was a gutted heap of smoke ruins.
He ran there in his underwear?
According to what I'm reading and to the research.
Wow.
4 bodies were found inside the house. One of the bodies was that of a woman who could not immediately be identified as Gunness since she had no head.
Huh.
The head was never found. The bodies of her children were found still in their beds.
And just the head burned first, I guess.
County Sheriff Smutzer had somehow heard about Lamphere's alleged threats. He took one look at the carnage and quickly sought out the ex-handyman. Lederter came forward to recount his tale about Gunness's will and how she feared Lamphere would kill her and her family and burn her house down. Lamphere did not help his cause much. At the moment Sheriff Smutzer confronted him, and before a word was uttered by the lawman, Lamphere exclaimed, "Did widow Gunness and her kids get out all right?" He was then told about the fire, but he denied having anything to do with it, claiming he was not near the farm when the blaze occurred.
She cut off her own head before she started the fire.
What?
That's what happened.
She cut her own head off?
I've got to the bottom of this. We don't even need to continue.
Were you part of the Scooby-Doo, this Miss Machine team? A youth, John Solom, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Probably not, but that's all right.
Was brought forward. He said that he had been watching the Gunness' place and that he saw Lamphere running down the road from the Gunness house just before the structure erupted in flames. Lamphere snorted to the boy, "You wouldn't look me in the eye and say that."
Oh, challenge accepted.
Oh, man. I would love to see that at a bar here in 2021. Your mom wears Skittle packets. You wouldn't look me in the eye and say that. I love that. And the boy says, "Yes, I will. You found me hiding behind the bushes and you told me you'd kill me if I didn't get out of here." Lamphere was arrested and charged with murder and arson. Then scores of investigators, sheriff's deputies, coroner's men, and many volunteers began to search the ruins for evidence. The body of the headless woman was of deep concern to LaPorte residents. C. Christopherson, a neighboring farmer, took one look at the charred remains of this body and said that it was not the remains of Belle Gunness.
Oh.
So did another farmer, L. Nicholson, and so did Mrs. Austin Cutler, an old friend of Gunness's.
So I was right. She cut the head off inside the fight. Just wasn't her head.
More of Gunness's old friends.
Right by me.
You went from, I did, because you went from, she cut her own head off, just started a fire.
Okay, I missed one detail.
Oh, nope. I saw this one, so it wasn't her own head she cut off.
It's like that distant heckler in the background of a show. I'm just going to keep going like they're not there.
That's how you show you're a pro. So, more of Gunness's old friends, Mrs. May Olander and Mr. Sigurd Olsen, arrived from Chicago. They examined the remains of the headless woman and said it was not Gunness. So
not a big enough back.
So these neighbors and friends are coming from everywhere. I don't know if I could look at your charred remains and say whether that's Jamie or not. Without a head?
Maybe like, is there a tramp stamp on there? Show me this. Show me the lower back. I need to make a positive identification.
Is there a tramp stamp on there? Does Jamie have a tramp stamp?
I have 2, actually.
Oh, man.
And no, you can't see them.
I do not want to. And I will.
But for $25 a month on Patreon,
I will be hitting out, folks. I will be hitting stop right now, escorting Jamie out of my house, and I will be restarting.
For the record, they were called lower back tattoos back then. Tramp stamp wasn't a term yet.
For the record, that has never been a tattoo that a mansion had, regardless of what they're called.
And I literally went into the guy and was like, "Yeah, I want one of those tattoos. If I don't have a shirt on, it kind of shows, but it kind of doesn't show." I think maybe the next day, tramp stamp was invented.
Oh my goodness! All right, so you have a bunch of friends and neighbors coming around saying that this is not the charred remains. The headless charred remains are not her. So this is where we are. Doctors then measured the remains and, making allowances for the missing neck and head, stated the corpse was that of a woman who stood 5'3" tall, and weighed no more than 150 pounds. Friends and neighbors, as well as the LaPorte clothiers who made her dresses and other garments, swore that Gunness was taller than 5'8" and weighed between 180 and 200 pounds.
That's a big girl.
Detailed measurements of the body were compared with those on file with several LaPorte stores where she purchased her.
Well, was that 5'3" without the head?
No. They did the measurements without the head, but they did it including what they expected.
I can't believe you answered that, honestly.
Well,
let me explain it because you don't know with me.
that's as Rye Guy said. I am trying to be very detailed.
With the head, we might be talking. Upper neck, lower neck,
5'3". Without her head could be about 6 inches. So
that's a little head.
All right. So when the two sets of measurements were compared, the authorities concluded that the headless woman could not possibly have been Belle Gunness, even when the ravages of the fire on the body were taken into account.
Is this a fire that you read at the beginning?
Yes.
Ah, gotcha.
Where are you at? Are you with me today?
I'm as close as I'm going to
I know you were up celebrating last night late, so you know. The flesh was badly burned but intact. Moreover, Dr. J. Myers examined the internal organs of the dead woman. He sent stomach contents of the victims to a pathologist in Chicago who reported months later that the organs contained lethal doses of strychnine.
Probably not necessary if you cut the head off.
It is if you want to make sure you get that head off. Huh. And, you know, because if she's setting up and planning her own fake death.
Couldn't find another, farm-like woman to similar size.
Just not running around. A lot of Nordic women running around Indiana at that time. Murderous fun fact for you folks.
Oh, I love these.
Yes. Maxon, who had been convinced from the start that he escaped the fire by sheer luck, he told no one of his suspicions except his sister, who later retold his story. Evidently, her brother had awoken in the middle of the night to find Widow Gunness standing over his bed watching him. Alarmed, he sat up. Quote, "I just wanted to see if you were asleep." Close quote. Is all Belle said before quietly slipping from his room.
She had the drippy candle again?
As she did so, he thought he saw a hammer hitting in the folds of her skirt.
Oh.
Stories of narrow escape were coming in from across the land by men who had answered Belle Gunness' ad in the Scandinavian. So for people out there, just to kind of go back, a quick refresher, don't forget she had put that ad out to within Indiana, and through other parts of the country as well. So men had been coming from everywhere.
It must be Scandinavian.
There's that head. And so they weren't crock. For the men who knew too many details about Belle and her farm, some of them even had letters Belle had written in reply. So these men just weren't making this up. Carl Peterson from Michigan came forth with a letter delivered to him from the woman, which read in part, quote, "I have decided that every applicant must make a satisfactory deposit of cash or security. Now, if you think you are able to in some way put up $1,000 cash, we can talk matters over personally.
That's 30 grand.
If you cannot, is it worthwhile to consider?" Close quote. Yes, that would be $30,000.
I mean, I did the math.
You did. So $30,000 he needed to bring. If you can't come up with that, and bring it personally.
Glad I ain't that rich.
Oh my gosh. Not having such an amount on hand at the time saved Mr. Peterson's life. George Anderson had seen Belle's ad in Missouri. After two-way communication, he decided to visit Belle, and not being one to light the flint before it's out of the drawer, check on the farm and the sincerity of the ad's author. So he felt like he needed to before he put the money up. Need to check out the farm and everything. I love the way they put that, though. Not being one to light the flint before it's out of the drawer. So he had only $300.
You don't hear that these days.
Not at all.
Not a whole lot of flints out there.
He had only $300 cash in his pockets.
Please.
But Belle urged him to go home, sell his large farm in Tarkio, and come back with the rest. He had suspicions. When he awoke in the dead of night to find her hovering over his pillow was enough. He lit out and took the next train home as well.
Good call.
But unfortunately, there were many more men who did not have the luck of Peterson nor the common sense of Anderson.
Do we have a total tally on this girl?
Gunness's dentist, Dr. Ira P. Norton, said that if the teeth dental work of the headless corpse had been located, he could have definitely ascertained if it was she.
No kidding. I'm a dentist. I had teeth. I could tell you. No shit, dude. We don't got teeth. Thanks.
What is that voice?
This guy just had to chime in. I'm a dentist. If I had teeth, I could tell you. I got eyes. If I had a face, I could tell you. This fucking dental guy pissed me off.
You're angry, dude.
This dentist guy.
No more of those fucking
Not a real doctor.
No more of those Cocoa Puff breakfast bars for you, cereal bars for you.
You're all hopped up.
Oh man. Thus Louis Klondike Schultz,
Oh, of course.
a former miner, was hired to build a sluice.
Okay.
And began sifting the debris as more bodies were unearthed. The sluice was used to isolate human remains on a large scale. So that one of those sifters, I guess.
Yeah. We're here at Murderess Podcast. We get fans.
On May 19th, 1908, a piece of bridge work was found consisting of 2 human canine teeth. Their roots were still attached. A porcelain teeth and gold crown work in between. Norton identified them as work done for Gunness. As a result, coroner Charles Mack officially concluded that the adult female body discovered in the ruins was Belle Gunness.
I don't buy it.
Ashley Helgeline arrived in LaPorte and told Sheriff Smutzer that he believed his brother had met with foul play at Gunness's hands. Then Joe Maxson came forward with information that could not be ignored. He told the sheriff that Gunness had ordered him to bring loads of dirt by wheelbarrow to a large area surrounded by a high wire fence where the hogs were fed. Maxson said that there were many deep depressions in the ground that had been covered by dirt. These filled-in holes, Gunness had told Maxson, contained rubbish. She wanted the ground made level, so he filled in the depressions. Smutzer took a dozen men back to the farm and began to dig. On May 3rd, 1908, the diggers unearthed the body of Jenny Olson, who had vanished back in December of 1906.
The 14-year-old.
That was his stepdaughter. Or the adoptive daughter. Sorry. Then they found the small bodies of 2 unidentified children. Subsequently, the body of Andrew Helgeline was unearthed, so his brother was right. His overcoat was found to be worn by Lamphere. As days progressed and the gruesome work continued, one body after another was discovered in Gunness's hog pen. Now, you were asking that question.
Yeah, those pigs will eat. Should have left it up. Left them above ground.
No, you're asking how many people. You're just asking.
Oh.
So, old B. Budsberg of Iola, Wisconsin, vanished May 1907. These are the bodies that they discovered. Thomas Lindbaugh, who had left Chicago and had gone to work as a hired man for Gunness 3 years earlier. Henry Gumboldt of Scandinavia, Wisconsin, who had gone to wed her a year earlier, taking $1,500 to her. A watch corresponding to one belonging to Gerholt was found with a body. Olaf Svensverherd from Chicago. John Moe of Elbow Lake, Minnesota. We talked about him earlier. His watch was found in Lamphere's possession. Now, remember, Lamphere's the farmhand who was in love with her. Olaf Lindblom, age 35, from Wisconsin.
7.
So that's 7 right there. Reports of other possible victims began to come in. William McGay, a coachman of New York City who had left the city on April 1st, 1904. Herman Codisser of Chicago, who had disappeared in January 1906. Charles Edmond of New Carlisle, Indiana. George Berry of Tuscala, Illinois. Christy Hilvik of Dover Barron County, Wisconsin, who sold his farm and came to LaPorte in 1906. How many we up to there?
Oh, I thought I stopped at 7.
Okay, so we're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 right there.
They found these bodies, or are they just missing?
No, these are people.
Oh, okay, 12. Wow, we get a dozen.
Charles Nieberg, a 28-year-old Scandinavian immigrant who lived in Philadelphia, who told friends that he was going to visit Gunness in June 1906 and never came back. He had been working for a saloon keeper and took $500 with him.
13.
What if that's the $500 that she came and she deposited in the bank account?
Oh.
John H. McJunkin of Coralopis near Pittsburgh left his wife in December 1906 after corresponding with the LaPorte woman.
Sorry, buddy, you're one of 14.
Olaf Jensen, a Norwegian immigrant
15.
of Carroll, Indiana, wrote his relatives in 1906 he was going to marry a wealthy widow at LaPorte. Henry Bidge of LaPorte, who disappeared June 1906, and his hired man named Edward Canary of Pink Lake III, who also vanished 1906. Twofer.
Oh, yeah. So what are we at, like 15, 16?
I think we're at 15. No, we're at 16.
16.
Bert Chase of Mishawaka, Indiana, sold his butcher shop and told friends of a wealthy widow and that he was going to look her up. His brother received a telegram supposedly from Aberdeen, South Dakota, claiming Bert had been
too
killed.
Good to be true. It probably is.
Had been killed in a train wreck. His brother investigated and found the telegram was fictitious. Tonis Peterson Lynn of Rushford, Minnesota, is alleged to have disappeared April 2nd, 1907. A gold ring marked SB May 28, 1907 was found in the ruins. A hired man named George Bradley of Tuscaloosa, Illinois, is alleged to have gone to LaPorte to meet a widow and 3 children in October 1907. T.J. Tiflin of Minneapolis is alleged to have come to see Gunness in 1907. Frank Reidinger, a farmer of Waukesha, Wisconsin, came to Indiana in 1907 to marry and never returned.
She stayed busy, this woman.
Emil Tell, yes, she did, a Swede from Kansas City, Missouri, is alleged to have gone in 1907 to LaPorte. Lee Porter of Bartonville, Oklahoma, separated from his wife and told his brother he was going to marry a wealthy widow at LaPorte. John E. Hunter left Duquesne, Pennsylvania on November 25th, 1907, after telling his daughters he was going to marry a wealthy widow in northern Indiana. All these dudes chasing money.
Right.
2 other Pennsylvanians, George Wims of Wappo Walla Open and Ludwig Stoll of Mount Yeager, also left their homes to marry in the West. Abraham Phillips, a railway man of Burlington, West Virginia, left in the winter of 1907 to go to northern Indiana and marry a rich widow. A railway watch was found in the debris of the house. Benjamin Carling of Chicago, Illinois, was last seen by his wife in 1907 after telling her he was going to LaPorte to secure an investment with the rich widow.
Huh.
He had with him $1,000, which would be $30,000, according to Jamie, from an insurance company.
That's my math. Don't be stealing my quote.
And I said, according to Jamie.
Oh, according to you.
Putz. And borrowed money from several investors as well. In June 1908, his widow was able to identify his remains from LaPorte's pauper cemetery by the contour of his skull and 3 missing teeth. August Gunderson of Green Lake, Michigan. O. Olison of Battle Creek, Michigan. Leonard Nicholson of Huron, South Dakota. Andrew Anderson of Lawrence, Kansas. Johann Sorensen of St. Joseph, Missouri.
What are we up to?
And another possible victim was named by Hinckley. You're supposed to be keeping account.
Oh, God, I lost count.
This guy. And then there's reported unnamed victims were. And so there's a list of them as well, which I won't go through. There's a list of 5 there. Most of the remains found on the property could not be identified. Because of the crude recovery methods, the exact number of the individuals unearthed on the Gunness farm is unknown, but it is believed to be approximately 12. On May 19, 1908, remains approximately 7 unknown victims were buried in 2 coffins in unmarked graves in the pauper section of LaPorte's Pine Lake Cemetery. Andrew Helgelin and Jenny Olson were buried in LaPorte's Patton Cemetery near Peter Gunness. So it's not like they were finding quite a few bodies there. Ray Lamphere was arrested on May 22, 1908 and tried for murder and arson. He denied the charges of arson and murder that were filed against him. His defense hinged on the assertion that the body was not Gunness's. Lamphere's lawyer, Wirt Worden, developed evidence that contradicted Norton's identification of the teeth and bridge work.
Yeah, he yanked those teeth out and just threw them in a pile.
A local jeweler testified that though the gold in the bridge work had emerged from the fire almost undamaged, the fierce heat of the conflagration had melted the gold plating on several watches and items of gold jewelry. Local doctors replicated the conditions of the fire by attaching a similar piece of dental bridge work to a human jawbone and placing it in a blacksmith's forge. The real teeth crumbled and disintegrated. The porcelain teeth came out pocked and pitted, with the gold parts rather melted. Both the artificial elements were damaged to a greater degree than those in the bridge work offered as evidence of Gunness's identity. The hired hand, Joe Maxson, and another man also testified that they seen Klondike Schultz take the bridge work out of his pocket and plant it just before it was discovered. Lamphere was found guilty of arson, but acquitted of murder. On November 26, 1908, he was sentenced to 20 years in state prison in Michigan City. He died of tuberculosis on December 30th, 1909. I would love to know why that even happened.
Tuberculosis?
No,
it's an infection in the lung.
No, Mr. Klondike there would be planting evidence. On January 14, 1910, the Reverend E.A. Shell came forward with a confession that Lamphere was said to have made to him while the clergyman was comforting the dying man. In it, Lanfear revealed Gunness's crimes and swore that she was still alive. Lanfear had stated to the Reverend Shell and to a fellow convict, Harry Myers, shortly after his death that he had not murdered anyone, but he had helped Gunness bury many of her victims. When a victim arrived, she made him comfortable, charming him and cooking him a large meal. She then drugged his coffee, and when the man was in a stupor, she split his head with the meat chopper. Sometimes she would simply wait for the suitor to go to bed and then enter the bedroom by candlelight and chloroform her sleeping victim. A powerful woman, Gunness, would then carry the body to the basement, place it on the table, and dissect it. She then bundled the remains and buried these in the hog pen and the grounds about the house. Belle had become an expert at dissection, thanks to instructions she had received from her second husband, the butcher, Peter Gunness, who, again, folks, don't forget, she had killed him.
So if I was going to butcher a body, where would I start?
To save time, she sometimes poisoned her victim's coffee with strychnine. She also varied her disposal methods, sometimes dumping the corpse into the hog scalding vat and covering the remains with quicklime. Lanfear even stated that if Belle was overly tired after murdering one of her victims, she merely chopped up the remains and in the middle of the night stepped into her hog pen and fed the remains to the hogs. The handyman also cleared up the mysterious question of the headless female corpse found in the smoking ruins of Gunness's home. Gunness had lured this woman from Chicago on the pretense of hiring her as a housekeeper, only days before she decided to make her permanent escape from the Porte. Gunness, according to Lanfear, had drugged the woman, then bashed in her head and decapitated the body, taking the head, which had weights tied to it, to a swamp where she threw it into deep water.
Oh.
Then she chloroformed her children, smothered them to death, and dragged their small bodies along with the headless corpse to the basement.
God damn.
This woman has no soul.
No, fuck her.
She dressed the female corpse in her clothing and removed her false teeth, placing these beside the headless corpse to assure it being identified as Belle Gunness. She then torched the house and fled. Lanfear had helped her. Now remember, that kid that saw him running. Yeah. He swore he was not. So Lanfear had helped her. He admitted, but she had not left by the road where he waited for her after the fire had been set. She had betrayed her one-time partner in crime, and in the end by cutting across open fields and then disappearing into the woods. Some accounts suggest that Lanfear admitted that he took her to Stillwell, a town about 9 miles from La Porte, and saw her off on a train to Chicago. So
we never even found this bitch.
Not from what they're saying here. Lanfear said that Gunness was a rich woman. You'll love this. That she had murdered 42 men by his count.
Wow.
Perhaps more. And
it's like top 10 in the U.S.
And had taken amounts from them ranging from $1,000 to $32,000. She had allegedly accumulated more than $250,000 through her murder schemes over the years.
30.
A huge fortune for those days. It would be about $8 million in 2021.
That was my calculation as well.
She had a small amount remaining in one of her savings accounts, but local banks later admitted she had indeed withdrawn most of her funds shortly before the fire. The fact that Gunness withdrew most of her money suggested she was planning to evade the law. You think?
You don't say.
Gunness was for several decades allegedly seen or sighted in cities and towns throughout the United States. Friends, acquaintances, and amateur detectives apparently spotted her on the streets of Chicago, San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles. As late as 1931, Gunness was reported alive and living in Mississippi town, where she supposedly owned a great deal of property and lived the life of a doyen. I'm not sure what that is. I did not look that one up. I apologize.
Doyen. That's all right. I want to be one.
That's right. Smutzer, for more than 20 years, received an average of 2 reports a month. She became part of American criminal folklore, a female bluebeard. Bluebeard, excuse me. The bodies of Gunness's 3 children were found in the home's wreckage, but the headless adult female corpse found with them was never positively identified. Gunness's true fate is unknown. The Porte residents were divided between believing that she was killed by Lanfear and that she had faked her own death. I'm leaning towards faked her own death.
Yeah, that's why would you do that? I mean, kill all those people. You got all that money.
I don't think
it's probably not that hard back then.
I don't believe Lanfear was smart enough to get the jump on her. In 1931, a woman known as Esther Carson was arrested in Los Angeles for poisoning August Lindstrom for money. 2 people who had known Gunness claimed to recognize her from photographs, but the identification was never proved. Carson died while awaiting trial. The body to believe that of Belle Gunness was buried next to her first husband at Forest Home Cemetery in Forest Park, Illinois. On November 5th, 2007, with the permission of descendants of Belle's sister, the headless body was exhumed from the Gunness grave in Forest Home Cemetery by a team of forensic anthropologists and graduate students from the University of Indianapolis in an effort to learn her true identity. It was initially hoped that a sealed envelope flap on a letter found at the victim's farm would contain enough DNA to be compared to that of the body. Unfortunately, there was not enough DNA there, so efforts to continue to find a reliable source for comparison purposes, including the disinterment of additional bodies and contact with known living relatives. Standing 6 feet tall and weighing over 200 pounds, she was a physically strong woman. She killed most of her suitors and boyfriends and her 2 daughters, Myrtle and Lucy.
She strangled them. She big farm hands.
She may also have killed both her husbands and all of her children on different occasions. Her apparent motives included collecting life insurance, cash and other valuables, and eliminating witnesses. Reports estimate that she killed between 25 and 40 people over several decades. That is the story of the murderess.
Well, we have to look up,
Gunness.
see where she ranks in top. She got to be top 15 all time for U.S. murderers.
That is a lot. When I came across this, when I was telling Jamie when he got to my home here that I had someone else in mind, and I was like, man, I'm not digging this story. And so I tried to I went through a couple more and found this one. I just thought I was fascinated.
It's a doozy.
I was fascinated that this woman was able to pull this off.
42.
And I'm always fascinated by, I'll say this. I'm always fascinated, whether it's female or males, how people just continually walk into that trap, if you will. But at the same time, I have to remember that these people are very smart and they know how to pick their victims.
They're from out of town, maybe they're single, is not going to be a big army looking for them at any kind.
And there's quite a few of these guys, who came with the same thing she had in mind, money. A couple of these guys left their wives to go marry what they thought was some old rich widow, so.
If it's too good to be true, I thought that was always the case. You got to know.
What were your thoughts on the story?
I thought she sucked bad as a person. Now, from the beginning, I was thinking this farmhand, he's got to be in on it. There's no way you have 6 foot, 200 pounds. Obviously, she can handle herself when it comes to dragging bodies around. But how you know it wasn't the guy was wearing a victim's coat at one point? He had to. He was part of it.
And with the time frame, as I'm reading all of the dates and the names earlier a few minutes ago, I'm like, you have a revolving door on this house? Because these dudes are just coming in.
Yeah, no neighbors speculating what's going on there, apparently.
Well, I will say this, to someone who grew up in a rural area, your homes are usually so spaced out. Yeah. It's not like you're living right directly next door or then right across the street. So you can have people just coming in.
A lot of them probably didn't have cars at that time. They weren't cars being left over.
And then, they're probably all working farms. So these people are busy with their own lives, their own families, I'm sure, to a certain extent. But, and you saw that she had introduced one of the victims as her cousin.
Yep.
So, she had her story set up, and I'm sure she had done that multiple times. But thank you guys for listening to another episode. I'm Sidney Smith.
I'm Jamie Kamaya.
From Sidney Smith Creative, this has been Murder's Podcast. Again, if you like our show, be sure to tell your friends and family. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you're listening right now. Leave that great 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts if you are a listener. But regardless of how you listen, go ahead and click that subscribe button for us. We would appreciate it.
Hit the button.
Remember, you can also support the show and receive bonus content by joining our fan club by going to patreon.com/Murderous Podcast. About the story you just heard, we sourced it from Belle Gunness, Black Widow of the Heartland by Joe Geringer, Murderpedia, and CrimeLibrary.com. We'll see you next week. And folks, remember, be aware of your surroundings. And we'll see you.
See you.